it good? Aha!
Now it good.
Now it good.
Now it good.
Now it good.
Hello?
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 Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello? Welcome to Game-Oversry, where once a month we talk about a game, celebrating an anniversary. So I feel like almost every game company has their mascots, right? You got Nintendo with Mario. You got Microsoft with Master Chief. But PC never really had a mascot, did it? PC's kind of like a wild west of the gaming market, I feel. And a lot of people say that Valve's mascot would be Gordon Freeman. But I feel like Portal, the game we're talking about, specifically Portal 2, I feel like since that's more popular with the casuals, that would be more PC's mascot. At least of the early 2000s, 2010s. The casuals, yes. So we're doing Portal 2. I'm Kevin.
I'm Brandon.
I'm Leif.
And I'm Silver.
Anyway, it's a puzzle platform by Valve, released on April 18th, 2011, distributed by Valve Steam Service, and all retail editions were distributed by Electronic Arts.
Really?
EA?
Yeah.
EA published the game in physical release?
Yeah. Work began almost immediately after Portal 1, which had a team of 7 to 8 people, while Portal 2 had 30 to 40.
That's a kind of a big upgrade.
Yeah.
That makes sense, because I've played both, and Portal 2 looks just so good.
And it's definitely a much longer game. You could beat
yeah.
Portal 1 in like an hour.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, Valve initially planned to exclude portals from Portal 2.
If you get rid of the portals
From
It
the game
can't-
from
called
the game
Portal.
called Portal, what's even the point?
So, Portal 2 was officially announced on March 5th, 2010 through Game Informer. March 1st, Portal 1 got the achievement Transmission Received, the one where the player brings in-game radios to specific locations, revealing sound effects that were a part of an ARG.
Oh, the ARG.
And a second patch on March 3rd changed the ending to show Shell being dragged back into the facility.
Legit, I don't remember the ending before that. I
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
remembered as the ending being, well, Shell gets dragged in.
Yeah.
I legit do not remember.
Apparently
the
it wasn't
ending
originally
before
like that. On March 5th, Game Informer announced Portal 2's official release in the following week when Gabe Newell accepted the Pioneer Award at the Game Developers Conference 2010. A fake blue screen of death appeared on the screen behind him, with a message likely from GLaDOS which hinted at there being more Portal 2 news at the upcoming E3.
Nice.
2 weeks before E3, game journalists received a cryptic email wordedly replaced by a surprise, hosted by both Aperture Science and Valve. The surprise ended up being the announcement of Portal 2 also coming to PS3.
Oh, that's interesting. It sounded like a threat almost
Yeah.
when you were reading that.
It's
Valve
GLaDOS after all.
Valve
Yeah.
sent something to game journalists 2 weeks before E3. It was a message from Aperture Science.
Yeah.
Sounds like a threat.
It really
It
does.
is.
Yeah.
Sounds like Gabe Newell showing up at E3, all like, I am holding everyone up in the E3 building until we announce Portal 2.
Anyway,
Yeah.
that's just about all I got, so...
Alright.
Okay, it's one of those games that's based off of, like, one central gimmick, and then they just add more onto that and do it really, really well.
Yeah. Yeah, well, most games do this. It's called a game loop, the primary game loop. So I guess for an example, the primary gameplay loop is you got 2 portals, and you gotta solve physics puzzles with these 2 portals. That's the main primary gameplay loop. However, the secondary loops would be something like, okay, now let's introduce speed gel or jump gel into the game that you could move around with portals, but also you would have to land on the jump. That would be a secondary loop with the gels themselves.
Yeah.
If you didn't know, the Half-Life universe and the Portal universe are one and the same.
Yeah, even in the song, Still Alive. I
Yes,
think it's
in Still Alive, they
Yeah.
mentioned Black Mesa, which I'm not sure if their original intent was supposed to be to connect the universes, or to just like, yep, this is just a random nod to Valve's most popular game at the time,
Yeah.
because we use the same engine.
And then Portal 2 happened, and then, yeah, the games are definitely linked.
Yeah, and unfortunately no Portal 3.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think Valve mentioned when making Half-Life Alyx that they did bounce around a bunch of different IPs for their big VR game, and one of them was Portal.
That would have been terrible for VR.
Yeah, that would have been absolutely sickening.
Especially the momentum puzzles.
Yes.
I don't think anyone would have been able to handle it. And my next note, do you know who Douglas Ratman is?
No.
Douglas
Douglas
Ratman.
I don't know.
I love the Ratman stuff.
In the game, both Portal 1 and 2, you know how sometimes you could go behind the walls, like there will be a panel like sticking out and you could go behind it and there's like crazy man drawings all over the place? So his name's Douglas Ratman. I think the original name is a fan name and it just got adapted into the lore. But he only actually appears in the game once. Or it's some other person, but most people think it's him. You must pause at the perfect time on the elevator during the opera, and you're able to see him run in the background.
Interesting.
For one frame.
I'm pretty sure one frame is an exaggeration because back when Portal 2 first released, I remember watching a video about this after I beat the game, and it's not exactly one frame. He just runs really fast past like one tiny little window in a corner. No one's sure if it's actually Douglas Ratman, but it's someone, and fan theories are it's him. He's been in there the whole time because he leads you.
Mm-hmm.
He actively leads you, like in Portal 1, he leads you to go the opposite way GLaDOS is telling you. So he's obviously actually there, and it's not just old scribblings.
Yeah.
But people theorize when you escape, you could see him also escape.
Amazing. Every word of what you just said was wrong.
Oh.
Because even though I haven't played Portal myself, I have on occasion watched like hour-long videos about the lore.
Yeah.
It's wild how in-depth a lot of the lore is.
Yeah.
Especially when you try to connect it to the Half-Life series.
Yes.
And then
Yeah.
it just opens a new can of worms.
I just remembered a like wild theory I heard. I don't know if it's true at all. But supposedly some people think that like there's a person inside the companion
inside
cube.
the companion cube.
Ah.
Do you guys remember if this was ever confirmed that in Portal 1, when you put the companion cube in the furnace,
It like cries.
it like
supposedly.
cries? Was that ever
I
confirmed?
think-
That it's actually like
know.
in the game?
I think multiple people have done the test. I'm not really sure.
But I mean like by the devs.
By the devs?
Probably not.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Okay.
I think you could hear it, but then again, I'm not sure if it's just one of those clickbaits where they just put it
Yeah.
over, and that one video is what got
mean-
people talking about it.
GLaDOS kind of teases you in Portal 2 because there is one chamber where you get to have the companion cube again, and she just fizzles it constantly in front of you.
Yes.
And that is the only test chamber that doesn't have an evaporation grid at the end of the chamber, and you could manipulate the chamber to take the cube out with you, but right before you get to the elevator, GLaDOS will evaporate it in front of you, and will say, I think that one was about to say, I love you. They are sentient after all. We just have a ton of them.
Yeah.
Because my personal take on it is it's probably an AI,
Yeah.
like all the others.
Actually, that's related to one of my notes.
Robots.
Okay, that is actually related to one of my notes. So, when I was doing research on this, I found out the original idea for this game got really dark at some point.
Oh.
Like, questionably dark. Like, I know the game has dark humor, like the one you just mentioned about the companion cube. But, like, it got strangely, like, this is weird. This almost sounds like an urban legend kind of dark. And one of them relating to this cube was, there's some unused dialogue found in the Portal 2 files that suggests that Cave Johnson did not die before being uploaded into the computer, much like his memo suggests. In fact, he would have been stored in a cube, similar to the companion cube, and would have been plugged into a wall. In order to get through to the next chamber, you would need to disconnect and kill this cube. And, in fact, Cave begs for death, saying, quote, "My life is torture, please kill me." You would also have to climb upon his dead/dying corpse to get to the next chamber.
Gee.
This is
Fascinating.
confirmed, by the way,
Wow.
due to just looking through the sound files. And speaking of sound files, I didn't write this down because I was debating whether or not to even talk about this. Just because of, like, how dark it is. There's also some sound files of, what's her name, Caroline?
The
What?
Yeah.
scientist lady?
The girl that is GLaDOS.
Yeah.
Caroline.
There's some files in the game of Caroline, of like her screaming and saying things that suggest she is being forced into a computer or something.
Oh, yeah.
That suggests that she's being forced to be uploaded into the AI. But the sound files exist. However, they didn't want to add it in for whatever reason, and there's a fan theory that says why. The fan theory is they cut it because it suggests...
Do you kiss your mother with that mouth?
Well, sometimes, but not recently.
And because of those, the voice actor for Cave Johnson, who was supposed to be in this scene, his files are missing.
Ooh.
His sound files. Because the actor refused.
That
To do this scene.
You know what? That honestly makes sense.
Yeah.
If the fan theory is correct,
Mm-hmm.
it makes sense from like a, I guess like publisher perspective to remove it.
Yeah.
Because it would make people very uncomfortable.
Yeah. I mean, it makes me uncomfortable thinking, those are in the game. Those sound files are still there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
They just don't play.
would it have made you even more uncomfortable to actually hear them in context?
Probably.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
I-
I would be so...
Yeah.
Ugh.
Because, again, as I said, Portal does have dark humor, but it, like, obviously draws a line.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, even that, like, that's humor.
Yeah, you're right,
And-
that's humor. That's like, oh, this is a
A
serious...
little too
Yeah.
Slightly lighter trivia that I have here. Do you know who plays Cave Johnson?
Not really.
I don't believe so.
It's J.K. Simmons. You might also know him as J. Jonah Jameson from the 2002 live-action Spider-Man movies.
Oh. Oh.
far. Oh.
Give me pictures of lemons, goddammit!
Yes.
I don't want your damn Spider-Mans! What am I supposed to do with these?
Man to see Spider-Man's manager.
Make Spider-Man rule a day and thought it could give Joe Jonah... Well, I can't say his name.
It's a lot of J's.
It's too many J's. Do you know who I am? I'm the publisher of the Daily Bugle! that one doesn't hit as well.
Yeah.
Since I know we will never hear the end of this, we are talking about a portal situation, which means we do have to talk about the cake.
Oh,
The cake
yeah.
and the lion, how it's a meme.
Yes.
But that's in Portal 1. Not
Yeah, that
Portal
is
2.
more of a Portal 1 meme.
But
It's not
it
in
persists.
the second
But-
one.
It's
Not as
They
much.
mention-
referenced.
Not as
It's,
prominent.
it's only referenced.
yeah.
But I guess you can't really talk about Portal
It's like
without
Portal's
talking.
whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely the meme that I feel like helped it take off.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what's a good it's kind of like how everyone memed about Sans and how that really made Undertale take off into mainstream. It's because it was kind of an in-joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because also in the song Still Alive,
Mm.
GLaDOS mentions the cake and she's all like, "Oh, there's this cake here." The line specifically says, "It's so delicious and moist."
Yeah.
So it was kind of an in-joke saying, "Oh no, it just reminds me of that dumb comic." And it's like, 4 friends at a party or something. They're like, "Oh man, party's cool, but I wish I could find the gamers in the crowd." That's an exact quote, by the way.
Oh.
And then
no.
the, like, token girl with the group says, "Man, this cake is so delicious and moist." And then the next panel is just a guy in the background going, "The cake is a lie!"
I see. So it was basically like a calling card for other players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Basically.
Okay.
But, I love Portal 2, to be honest.
Yeah.
Portal
the-
2 is so good.
It's so good. The humor is great. The way it plays, it's so smooth.
Yeah, it never feels like you get too stuck anywhere. There's not a...
Yeah.
I feel like there's not a place in the game where I'm all like, I have no idea what this is asking me to do. So one of the things I want to mention is developer commentary. I love how
Yes.
every single Valve game has developer commentary mode. It depends on the game. It's either when you beat the game or when you beat the level. You're able to replay that in developer commentary mode. And it will play the same, but there will be like bright yellow 3D models of like a little like speech bubble. And if you walk up to it and press E, it will lower the volume of the game and have the devs talking about that specific level as you're playing through it.
That's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
And like, this is where a lot of our trivia actually came from.
Yeah, should we all give our final scores
Okay,
like consistently?
thoughts on the game.
Uh,
I think we all gave it a 5
we
out
all
of
said
5.
5 out of 5.
Yeah.
Perfect game.
Yeah.
I mean, you were all
Genre-defining.
screaming over each other.
But yeah, we all agree 5 out of 5, perfect game, has no flaws ever.
It defines the genre.
Yes.
Yeah.
Get Portal 2 if you haven't bought Portal 2.
Although that's kind of redundant because people watching this video would probably,
No.
Because
Still-
we're probably going to put a spoiler
Yeah.
warning.
Play it again.
Play it again!
with developer commentary on.
Developer commentary.
Yeah.
Negate this entire podcast because that's where all the trivia came
Yeah.
and probably all like the background of development.
Yeah.
It's over.
FD